So we've had a bit less community calls, guys, because it was Christmas. But things are still moving fast. You should expect quite a lot coming from Paladin. I'm not gonna even say this year, because just looking at our roadmap and everything we're working on, it's like even just the 6 first month of the year are gonna be absolutely wild. Not just for us, but when you look more globally at the ecosystem, yes, we're in the middle of a bear market. Absolutely every project is suffering, even if they're not telling it. There is no exception to who we've talked to. But at the same time, everyone is releasing a ton of really cool stuff or preparing to release a lot of stuff. So I think it's going to be a really nice time to be in crypto and to be in DeFi in general. So yeah, it's a bit of Christmas themed community call today. So we always start in terms of tokenomics. It's not really surprising, but we've noticed less reduction of the circulating supply that's locked or that's staked. That's obvious. It's because we haven't released yet a good, interesting mechanism for people to basically lock their token. This is on the work. We should have probably a lot of new things to discuss over the next community call for Warlord. But yeah, so we still keep going at this. I think at some point, anyway, the tokenomics are going to be something we have to work on. As long as quote unquote valuation doesn't matter, it's okay. But once we have to start support price, we have to start thinking about tokenomics. By the way, if you've seen, we've lost a good chunk again of in the term of price action, even for the market pumped a bit. This is not some conspiracy or anything. We have an ex-employee who decided to sell his PAL token. He was not part of the company or of the DAO anymore. So yeah, but it's good, I think, for the DAO to have people that can be maybe toxic basically get out of the system. So I think we're at a very interesting basis, because now if you look at the market cap of the DAO compared to the revenue it's making, we're at a really interesting point where we're one of these niche projects that is going to start scaling and make a lot of money, I think. That's our goal. We're going to discuss this in the next slide. So now that we get there, we can start working out our revenue, then our tokenomics models, and we get to a really interesting place at the end of the year. The idea of 2023 is, I won't say submarine building, because we are going to release stuff, but it's incremental growth. That's where we should get. So yeah, in terms of revenue, it has gone down a bit from last month, but not that much if you consider everything. We're actually ending the year at roughly $30,500, 455. And we actually farmed a lot of CRV this month, which is good. A bit less of Aura, but we have a good spread of the tokens we have. I think probably over the next 2 months, we're going to have to start thinking about selling some of these to create to accumulate a dollar treasury. It's going to be a work we have. There are some tokens maybe that are not whitelisted that maybe we can consider as using as productive assets. I don't know. For example, liquidity. I think we have a good sum of liquidity, maybe 12 or 13,000 of these. So we could probably do something interesting with them to be studied. So yeah, we're still making the money. That's why it's kind of irrelevant to look at the price, honestly. And as long as we pump and grow this is basically all that matters, at least for me. If anyone else has something to say about this, we're always open to talk about it, to see how we can work against it. But Paladin is doing well, despite the bear. Could you catch your mic, Boca? Nice thing. Oh. And yeah, this is a slide we've talked about. I'm not gonna come back a lot to it. A lot, because we've discussed over the last few calls. I'm still keeping it because there is still some things that are moving with protocol on liquidity. We are talking more and more to deploy on Polygon some liquidity, because we've had a few people ask us about this. There's probably really interesting synergies to discuss about, since now that Tattoo Finance has created a V-Tattoo, which basically controls part of the Balancer token, which has interesting synergies with Quest. We probably can do something where they would start using Quest and we would start deploying liquidity on Polygon. This is something we're starting to talk with them. We haven't announced it yet, but we're going to have a delegation address that's going to vote market make for V-Tattoo. So if you have Tattoo that's locked, feel free to delegate it to Paladin. We are going to optimally allocate it. And this should solve the biggest problem that we've had on Balancer, which was that we had some pain points to actually get some votes. We're quite we think it's going to be solved with this. So that's it for liquidity. Because price has been going out, liquidity is thinning out a bit, but I have no doubt that if we're able to perform correctly, liquidity will go back up. Something else that's important, we're still with our $2 million treasury cushion goal of by the end of 2023. However, the goal, that was a personal goal, and it's basically out of the 3 goals we had set out personally I had set out for Paladin in 2022, it's the only one we missed, which was we hope to get 100K to 100K a month of revenue by the end of the year. We didn't. There's multiple reasons to do that. I think November was extremely hard in terms first of the FTX fallout. Also the fact that in May there was the Luna fallout, which didn't help the launch of Quest. And we also had the growth of competitors. So this kind of slowed down a bit everything. But it doesn't slow down the growth, I think, that we should expect from Paladin. The idea is to get to $250,000 of revenue in Q1. So let's see if we're able to do it. It's very ambitious. At current rate, we're probably making 100K over the Q1. I think we can multiply this by almost 3. So let's see how it goes. There's a lot of BD actions under the water that cannot be talked about publicly because we have to warm up the products, the DAOs to the product. We have to help them tailor the service. They don't just use any platform. If you look at YBribe, the Bribe marketplace that was released by Yearn, they don't have any clients. And the simple reason for that is that they don't do BD over it. And business development is really important in these kind of things. So yeah, moving on. So that's the big announcement. You guys, we basically front run the community call because we wanted to start doing it soon. The Warden family is growing, especially for Boost right now. You could only sell your Boost for Curve. Now you can sell it for Bouncer, for Angle Protocol, and for Stake DAO. So there's quite a few other things that are going to be built on top. That's something really important, is that we released Boost a year ago. It wasn't as successful, as profitable as we expected. We still think it has a lot of potential. It just needs to be set out in the right way, and we're going to keep iterating on it until we find a way we can give us the good profitability we expect from it. If you have SDCRV, SDBAL, SD Angle, SDFXS, you can borrow the SDT boost to basically boost your power. It's actually quite powerful. The APR, right? You're paying roughly 20% interest on your SDT. But if you look at how much you can earn with it, it's actually quite impressive. We already had the first few buys, and we expect a lot more to come. So I think we're probably going to do a first, how should I say, product review to see how much we earned with it at the end of the month. But I wouldn't be surprised if it became a profitable product quite quickly. So yeah, that's like the big news for us this month. We still think it's going to take a bit of time for boosting to really grow in terms of adoption, but we have to remember that we're going to be able to iterate a lot on this, and that's just the primitive in itself. And the idea is to build on top of this now that we have the market, and of course to get people to deposit their boost on top of it. But yeah, that's where we're going right now with Word and Boost, and we think it's going to be extremely interesting to see. So if you do, please help us and participate in this. Moving on to quests. So the screen is becoming busier and busier. While the volume is not exactly extremely high this week, we did some really good volume on November and even on December. We're working on a few very big clients where we hope that the volume will go back up. But yeah, we basically have now 8 quests at the same time from 4 different protocols. So I think 8 quests is a record. We were at 7 before. We're probably going to expect 10 by the end of the month, maybe mid-February. So yeah, it's growing quite quickly, and the biggest problem we're going to have is that we're going to need more votes. If you look at the way the votes are filled on balance requests, it's not up to the standard we expect. The only way we can get to the standard is by getting Aura and to delegate it to us, because it's a bit hard right now for these people to come in and vote on the platform. So it's growing, like the delegation is growing quite a lot. We just had very large delegations yesterday made to us in Aura and Tetu. So this should partially solve the problem. So yeah, the idea is that we hope to scale a lot quests revenues this maybe not this month, next month I would say, but we'll see. Koga, do you want to take it away on Dullahan?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. So yeah, Durahan. So he spelled the name. Not supposed to, but I guess he can't stop licking. That's gonna be the code name for the new Palace TKV vault. So as you all know, there's JHO coming in soon with Aave, and there was talks about getting Stekavit impacting the JHO system. So we are working on having a good product for you guys, TKV holders, and current past TKV farmers to for something more efficient and get all the yield from all sources that TKV can provide. So yeah, it's in the pipes right now, and you'll have more info soon when we are ready to release it to you guys.
Yeah, of course. This is the idea is to have a V2 of our of a vault we had that was quite successful before, but it's highly dependent on Ave's development and release schedule. So there's also part of it that we can't really control. But yeah, I think that's going to be one of the most interesting releases of the quarter, and the market's not ready for this. Moving on, in terms of governance, so there's quite a few discussions that are happening. There's two for votes right now. One from the retroactive grants, which we're going to start giving out. Like the first ones were handed out to Keep It and Didibun. And the second one was about treasury management. What we should do with our CRV, CVX, and SDCRV. Please go vote if you haven't. I think this is going to help us get a bit more efficiency of what we're doing. The two others discussions, there's ones for signer rotation. We've had 3 applications, I think, for two signers. So yeah, there's going to be an interesting vote. And the second one is for treasury management, but this time for our balancer ecosystem type of products, which is going to be for BAL and Aura. We haven't put it live yet because we think there's one more message and topic that should be discussed, which is about Tattoo. So Tattoo is a wrapper on a VBAL wrapper that's on well, it's like Convex. It's the equivalent, but it's on Polygon. It's a competitor to Aura. What's interesting about them is that right now there's a quite a big discount of Tattoo to buy them out with BAL if you want to control the voting power. The idea is that we could probably buy out some Tattoo and go there. They also control Chi behind it, which is a stablecoin of Polygon. So that would be interesting because it would help us start planning and rolling out our multi-chain strategy. Uh, the other thing that's really interesting also is that we think we can help them build a lot, which would be which would help us create a synergistic relationship with them, and would partially solve our problem of not being able to get votes on Bouncer. For the record, they have something 530,000 VBAL under control. So that's pretty, I think, interesting. And it would also enable our users to basically start participating in something that would look like Quest, but maybe around other chains. So there's quite a few interesting stuff that should be made on this. I think we're going to have to try and post a last message, I think, before tomorrow. If you want to get the vote done on Wednesday, because then it's 5 days, and that would mean we'd have only Tuesday to do the operations in terms of execution. So we're going to try to get this through soon. So yeah, again, lots of things happening in governance, but that's how it should be, right? Okay, maybe moving on in terms of outlook. And I realize I'm going a bit fast today. I apologize, guys. Um, it hasn't changed as much as the one in December, simply because December was a month more of deep work than announcements or release dates. So now we have released the base of our Boost product. We've extended the base. Our idea now, the challenge is over the next 6-9 months, make this a very lucrative vertical for us. So how do we get good money out of this? We have a few, it's more than ideas. We have a few projects that are reaching their course where we're going to be able to probably show some results. The second thing is that we need to keep growing quests. It feels like I keep repeating this every month, but there's some real progress behind the scenes that should result in the good incentive options for everyone here. And also, our delegation addresses on both Aura and CVX have been growing substantially for Aura. So there's some very so that's a really good sign. We keep growing. That's the thing. Like the market isn't growing, but we keep growing on all sides. The third thing is that we are working as we kind of leaked on the Pulse Vault, a new Pulse Vault, and it's totally different from the one we had originally in the sense that it's going to be revenue first for the DAO too. So we expect to bring out a lot of monthly holders, but also be able to get revenue from it. And the fourth thing is Warlord, which we probably will have more to talk about next month. And yeah, we always had other things to talk about next month because yeah, it's a continuous project to build, right? And if you guys have idea of things you think we should build or the community should participate in, yeah, you can always talk about in the in the forums. Moving on.
It's for me.
Yeah, maybe Starny, do you want to take over?
Yeah, sure.
On this.
So for the ecosystem project and Twitter growth during this quarter, Paladin had an higher Twitter followers growth rate compared to the other competitors and most of the project in the ecosystem. So for the last quarter, growth rate was like at 5% as an increase compared to the previous quarter, which was only 3.6%. It indicates that we are not only having the overall positive follower growth, but the rate of growth is also improving. And in addition, comparing to the growth rate change of the other projects, Paladin had the most significant positive quarter-to-quarter rate increase. And I think it's in part coming from the Brotherhood. If you can go to the next slide. Yep. So thanks again all for your participation during the Brotherhood because the campaign was a great success according to me. It's my opinion, but we can see with the stat that I showed just before that we gained a lot of followers and our communication was a bit better. So we will do more campaigns later. I need to improve it. So feel free to send me feedback if you have any idea in mind to how improve the Brotherhood campaign. And given the success, maybe that the rewards will be much greater. We will see. And to keep updated winners, prices will be shipped soon. But the Pope is already sent, and for NFT merch and ledger, it will be soon in your mailbox, in your box. So yeah. Next.
Yeah, just to be fully transparent, the content is literally next to me. I have to put it all in boxes and send it to you guys. Apologies. I'm going to try to get this done as soon as possible. Hopefully over the weekend.
Okay, so for the governance forum and alternative, I've talked about it at the previous community call. So we will give it a try at Commonwealth. It's like a discourse. It's an all-in-one forum, but I still need to implement the new governance framework. But I already implemented the governance framework on discourses. So for now, until I implement it on Commonwealth, we will still use discourse, but I will keep you updated to at least try Commonwealth in the next days or week. Yeah. Next slides, I think. Yeah. As always, there will be the office hours. So if you have any question about Paladin and you want to talk with the team members, we can have a chat to answer your questions on every Wednesday. It will be in a private voice channel or by voice channel or simple chats. And I will also introduce a feedback call. The goal is to gather feedback from our users about our new products and next products, because we need more feedbacks from users, and to improve the user experience. And this can extend to other aspects you wish to discuss with me. For example, the Brotherhood campaign. Yeah. Next slide. Okay. And as always, there will be a pope, so I took a screenshot of every member's ears here, and you will soon receive a new pope for this community call. Thanks you guys for joining us.